Guys, welcome in. We are diving in already to week 9. Already been a fast 8 weeks. Season's more than halfway over at this point. So really, that's why it's been a little while back again. So wanted to come out, get a video in, little halfway point video. Not gonna go over like week 8 recap or week 9 predictions. I feel like those videos get a little redundant. I might do them every so often, but I think the Midway Point video is going to be pretty cool. I'm going to go over divisions, a look at points scored, look at players who've made impact and quite frankly opposite impact. So wanted to get a quick video out, like I said. We'll jump right in, look at the halfway point, kind of at the league, a little more than halfway, but obviously week 15 is our championship. We are officially done with 8 games, so it was probably a good time. Looking at it, guys, in the NFC, you got Jeff and Nico holding it down at 7-1. Only one loss this year, which coincidentally is to Casey, who is at 3-5. 3-5. There's actually the guys. The parity in the league this year is pretty crazy. It's very tight, very competitive. Like I said, they're holding it down at 7-1, leading the division. Got a 3-game lead on the division, but after that, second seed is wide open. You're looking at Joe and Jared holding it down at 4-4, kind of at the number 2 seed, tied with Brock at 4-4, and then literally right behind him, guys, is Eric at 3-5 and Mike at 3-5. So I mean, literally, a couple games go their way, a couple big division games down the stretch. Could be real tight watching that number 2 seed in the NFC. Judging off their scoring for the NFC, no surprise, Jeff and Nico leading the way at 892. You got Joe and Jared right behind them at 727, not right behind, like 150 points behind. Behind them is Brock at 664, Mike at 652, and Eric at 638. In that division, Jeff and Nico holding it down, like I said, 4-0 in the division, so kind of putting a whooping on their own division. Brock is at 2-2 in the division. And Eric and Nick are 2-2 as well. Then you got Jared and Joe 1-3, along with Mike at 1-3. So yeah, tough little division there. But like I said, guys, wide open. Heading over to the AFC, you got your commish yourself leading the way at 6-2. Pulled out a huge victory last week. Really needed it. Only got a 1-game lead on Dalton, who everybody kind of wrote off beginning of the year. He's made some great trades. Really moving, really active. Like I said, Dalton, great job this year. So far, sitting at 5-3, and then the rest of the division, like I said, it's still pretty close, guys. Especially a lot of division games coming up here. You got Jobby at 3-5, which congratulations, Jarvier, married man now on a boat somewhere in the Caribbean, I would assume. You're going to come back to about 1,000 texts, especially with all the trades going on in the NFL. But Jobby at 3-5, you got Casey at 3-5, and you got Aaron, bottom of the league, 2-6. Had a tough time, just some draft picks not panning out, but Aaron's still staying competitive. He's still trying, guys. So I mean, like, Aaron's wanting to make moves. At this point, I think he's still fighting to stay in it. So we've seen teams that are 6-7 make the playoffs. So if he goes on a run, you never know. In our division, though, points for, I'm leading the way at 815. Dalton shortly there behind at 751. Jarvier 695. You got Casey at 633, and Aaron taking up the last spot at 614. So guys, obviously score more points, win more games. Division record, I, like Jeff and Nico, am 4-0 in the division. Dalton 2-2, Jarvier 2-2, and then Casey and Aaron both 1-3 in the division as well. So currently, like I said, it's been so far so good for both divisions. It's still wide open, guys. I mean, there's no dead set winner here. As of right now, I mean, even me sitting at 6-2, I got a lot of competition behind me. So I think a lot of people still need to make moves and don't rest on your laurels. I think the only team pretty much shoe in right now is Jeff and Nico, just because 7-1. Next closest in the division is 4-4. I mean, they're going to really have to fall off, and I think the Ajay trade to the Eagles really helps their chances of getting that 3-headed running back on track. So, guys, looking into kind of the player performances as well. I kind of like to do a little halfway MVP, highest scoring fantasy players, all that good stuff. So we'll start out with quarterbacks, guys. And this has to be the weirdest year for quarterbacks, personally. You know, you look at the number one fantasy quarterback at this point is Alex Smith. Now, has fallen off a little bit since that, you know, those first few weeks, but guys, that offense looks awesome. He's leading the league at 170 points. You got Deshaun Watson, number 2. 16th round potential keeper. Guy was a free agent pickup. Same with Alex Smith. And they're out there just slanging the rock, scoring points. Nobody saw that coming. The guy wasn't even a starter week 1. Obviously, I expect some of these guys to come back down to earth. But, I mean, next guy, Carson Wentz, slanging. Number 3 is at 168.8, and obviously Watson 168.9. So they're right there neck and neck. Those top 3 quarterbacks are separated by half a point, point and a half. Rounding out the top 10, you have Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, Cam Newton, Kirk Cousins, Josh McCown, number 9. And number 10, you got Drew Brees. So, literally, how many of those guys were drafted early? Obviously, Aaron Rodgers' injury hurts. Tom Brady, number 4, it's respectable. You got Russell Wilson at number 5. Obviously, top 5 quarterback, rock solid. But you got guys who were drafted super late or not drafted at all. Alex Smith, Deshaun Watson, Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, super late. Cam Newton, Kirk Cousins, a late keeper, and then Josh McCown, not even there. You had guys who were drafted early like Phillip Rivers, Matt Stafford, Derek Carr, Jameis Winston. Some of these guys are, barely in the top 20. Matt Ryan, for example, number 21 quarterback. Last year was like number 2. So guys, I mean, it's just the points, I expect that to maybe, regress to the mean a little bit. But some of these no-name late-round quarterbacks, I mean, at some point, when are we going to learn that drafting a quarterback early just sometimes doesn't pay off? Going into the running backs, you got top 10 as Kareem Hunt, Todd Gurley, Ezekiel Elliott, Le'Veon Bell, Melvin Gordon, Leonard Fournette, Jordan Howard, Chris Thompson, surprise name there, LaShawn McCoy, and Devontae Freeman rounding out your top 10. Obviously, running backs, holding it down as always. A lot of familiar names. We don't need to beat the chest there with that. Obviously, Kareem Hunt, a surprise. Obviously, wish David Johnson was there, but bum wrist, hoping he can come back. Wide receivers, number 1, your boy DeAndre Hopkins, having a balling out year. Right behind him, Antonio Brown, AJ Green, Brandon Cooks, Mike Crabtree, number 5, highly underrated, always never appreciated. Number 6, you got Mike Evans, Chris Hogan, a late round steal for Jobby. Number 7, you got Tyreek Hill at 8. Will Fuller, guy's barely played all year. He's missed 4 games, 3 games, and he's just been lighting the world on fire. Got 7 touchdowns, tied for the league lead, and he's missed 3 games. Obviously, I expect that to regress, but highly impressive nonetheless. He's number 9. Nelson Aguilar at 10. So, guys, not a lot of familiar names. You got a couple of the studs up there. Obviously, some injuries, but you got Brown, Green, Evans. Those were ones we expected to be up there. But, yeah, a lot of points scored in that wide receiver group, guys. Obviously, not as much as running backs, but still huge for that league, especially with 3 receivers now. Tight ends, number 1, Zach Ertz, holding it down, getting touchdowns finally. Right behind him is Gronk at number 2. You got Kelsey at 3. Cameron Braid at 4. Was a free agent pickup at one point. Same with Evan Ingram at number 5. Jimmy Graham coming alive at 6. Jason Witten, old man Witten, number 7. You got Jack Doyle, number 8. Kyle Rudolph, number 9. Hunter Henry, number 10. So tight ends, as we know, always, if you don't have one of the top few, it's just a toss-up at that point. They're the catcher of fantasy football. Looking at defense, guys, you got Jaguars, number 1, and they're pretty hard, not far and away, but pretty close. 102 points, only defense in triple digits at this point. You got the Ravens behind them, Rams, Lions at number 4, very shocking. Number 5, even more shocking, the Bears, number 5 fantasy defense right now. Tied with the Steelers as number 5. You got Eagles at 7, Panthers 8, Bills 9, and Vikings 10. So obviously that even more so, don't draft a defense early. You got the Broncos down there somewhere around 15. Chiefs super late as well. They're maybe number 20. So guys, I just wanted to go over the little midway season top 10 at each position, go over divisions a little bit, not much else to work on. Other than that, guys, divisions are wide open. nobody should be down on themselves or really trying to play for next year. Obviously, keepers are important, but for some owners I've talked to, I mean, play for this year. Fuck next year. We'll figure it out. If not, you can go Cohen with another team. You know, look what's happened before. But yeah, I really think that our league sometimes, and this is me for sure, I focus on keepers too much where I need to try to win for the now. And so, I mean, there's so much opportunity, so many big games down the stretch here. We're coming into, what is this, week 9? So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 5 weeks left. So literally 5 games left. I know some teams, I mean, are fully division loaded there. We have, what, 4? So there's 4 more division games left out of 5 weeks for most people, I would assume. And I know mine will be 4. So huge opportunity for some teams to knock off a couple other guys and really move up in their division rankings. So stay in there, guys. Once again, have a great week. Any questions, keep it rolling. Trade deadline is not until the beginning of week 13. I believe it ends November 30th, which will be Thursday? I think it's Thursday before week 13 actually kicks off. So we extended it out, I think, 2 or 3 weeks this year. Just wanted to be more active. Trades have been phenomenal this year. There's been a lot of activity. So I think we hopefully keep that rolling and, see what teams make moves. Especially, I think once you get toward the end, I'm not really worried about teams colluding at this point as far as, I know. But I think at that point when you realize, I'm out of it, let me trade off this stud for, 2 good keepers or whatever it is, especially since we're rolling with 3 keepers next year as a max and then a minimum of 1. So just want to remind everybody of that. But outside of that, guys, man, have a great week. Good luck to everybody. It's going to be fun down the stretch. I'll try to do more videos here as we get closer to the end. So have a good week, guys.